Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it's a beautiful Monday morning in Frisco, Texas, inside the SWBC podcast studio, where we are ready to talk
Sports.
what sport today? Sports of all types. That's right. After a late night last night, and congratulations, the Cowboys won a championship last night. Album of the year, Cowboy Carter.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Everson, did you know that?
I did not know that.
Beyonce, Cowboy Carter.
See, you got me because I didn't know that.
You just said that you did not watch the Grammys.
Well, my daughter, man, she's a beehive or whatever they call those people. I'm not going to speak to.
You haven't seen her.
Those young individuals.
Her video riding the white horse. Come on.
I didn't see none of that, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so a championship won by the Cowboys.
That's right.
Tonight. Anything else going on?
Well,
Cowboys.
This was funny. The Stars game started at 5 p.m.
You saw the casket outside the AAC yesterday?
I did see that. But the guy that started the Stars broadcast says, well, we've got a big deal to talk about because the Stars traded for two veteran players, right?
Okay.
And I think it was Harper. No, it
Wouldn't
was.
have been Harper.
It was
He's
no. I mean, Daryl
Ray.
Daryl goes, yeah, not as big as the big one. He just interrupted him. Like, this guy was going to just go by it, like, oh, the Stars traded for two veterans.
You can't don't bring that up now. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, not as big as the big one.
I got one question. Who's the most despised general manager going
That's right.
these days?
Oh, man. They said the torch has been passed.
Jerry's off the hook.
Jerry's having a cigar somewhere like, ooh, I can relax now.
All right. So, okay. When did you find out about it? And we're talking about the Luca trade
that
Lakers for those.
For some reason, I was up late.
Saturday night? I didn't find out about it until Sunday morning. I went to bed early, didn't check Twitter or anything. Early by being a little before midnight. The trade had happened before I went to bed on Saturday night.
Yeah.
But I didn't check Twitter or anything. And so I wake up at 7:30 on Sunday morning with a text from my daughter. Is this real? What are you talking about?
This can't be real.
Yeah, it wasn't April 1st, right?
I had just come from my brother-in-law's 70th birthday party. We did a big shindig for him at Hotel Zaza. So we're coming back. Yeah, we're coming back. And here comes, I got the kids. I got my wife. We're in the car. And my son's reading. He goes, no. No. Like, what? They're all into the, media and all of that stuff. So they're trying to check different Instagram. They're checking everything. I said, if Adam Schefter says it, then I believe it. Mm-hmm. So, but he had nothing to do with it.
But there are fake Adam Schefter accounts, too.
We were worried about all of that. So all the way home, we're still confused, like, okay, what does this mean? I mean, we had our own mix shots in the car. Like, what does this mean for the Mavericks? I don't know, but it's pretty good working out for the Mavs. You got a big man. What about LeBron? What's he going to do? So, yeah, we got a little round table going on the way home on 75.
Shocking.
I'm trying to remember why I was up. Oh, I had to go to the airport.
I thought you were going to say restroom.
No. I don't have to do that.
The bed's like...
Okay, so and one of the first things I thought of was, where was I when I heard about the Herschel Walker trade? I mean, it's being called the most stunning trade, the biggest trade in NBA history. And in Dallas-Fort Worth,
Dallas area,
in Dallas-Fort Worth history,
for the Cowboys, that's saying a lot.
The Herschel Walker trade, I mean, we thought it would never be matched, and now the Mavericks.
This got trumped.
What about the firing of Jimmy Johnson?
Well, but I'm talking about a trade.
Okay,
I'm just talking about a trade. And
you're not talking about sports news
right.
trade. Gotcha.
Yeah. Nico Harrison told Jerry Jones, "Hold my beer."
I'm going to top you. I'm going to one-up you.
But he can only hope that this trade somehow, some way turns out like the Herschel Walker trade.
But it can't because he didn't get anything back or enough. The Herschel Walker trade, at least.
That was the key on it. But when you go back and look at the Herschel Walker trade, because people now, 35 years later, look at Herschel's career, and it was a nice career in the NFL. Mm-hmm. But, in fact, with my son-in-laws, I've got to explain, they weren't born yet. They were born about the same time that the Herschel Walker trade occurred. So I got to go inform them of, okay, this is how big ramifications. This is how big Herschel Walker was. Right. And even I have to remind myself that in 1988, with the Cowboys, Herschel Walker had over 1,500 yards rushing and over 500 yards receiving. He had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage in 1988. Yes, Mickey?
For a 3-13 team.
Yep. Yeah.
Not one that went to the NBA.
Right. But his stature was that. He was the one thing that the Cowboys had.
They had Everson.
That's what they said, too. I'm sorry. That was the laugh that I heard when someone.
And so the feeling in Minnesota was this is putting them over the top.
Oh, yeah.
And so
it wasn't even close.
So yeah, right. In hindsight now.
It wasn't even close.
Right, exactly. But the
news alone, the news itself was still
right. They did what? They traded Herschel Walker for these 5 guys? And it was the draft picks associated with.
And then we found out a couple of days later what the trade really was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder if Luca got paid $2 million wardrobe bonus like Herschel did.
Herschel did?
Yeah.
He didn't use it well.
Because he didn't have any. He said he didn't have any winter clothes.
He did not use it well at all. I'm sorry. We always had a little dressing contest. He never came in.
There's got to be more to this than they're talking about.
More than basketball.
Yes.
More than just.
The one they tell you in the Nico Harris
being out of shape. More than more than that.
How about 345 million reasons, which was going to be his max extension. They didn't want to pay it.
It wasn't that it wasn't that they couldn't pay it.
No,
they didn't want to pay it. Exactly.
They're thinking they could use that money for other stuff.
Because you need to and the other thing is, and I brought it up last night, is they're starting their own regional sports network, and they don't have that $45 to $50 million coming in. Well, keep in mind that Miriam Edelson,
there's
the owner of the Mavericks now, who owns 68% of the team. She is worth $32 billion.
It wasn't.
She's the 53rd richest person in the world. And so it's not like they can't afford Luca's $345 million contract that he would be eligible for the Supermax contract after this year. There is a reason that they think that they are better suited now without Luca and with the
money available, because there is somewhat of a salary cap in the NBA.
Right.
The other thing is he also had an opt-out after 1 year. So
after next season, he could become a free agent and they could get nothing back.
And they're saying that there was a lot of teams already doing their homework to throw money at him.
This was the time. But this was the time to trade. If you're going to trade him, this was the time to do it.
And so, once again, why are you looking at that option other than you're talking money? Or something other than that.
And the other thing I don't want to hear is defense wins championships. Not in the NBA. Boston didn't win because they played good defense. They scored. They couldn't stop them from scoring.
Well, but one of the reasons was they just blew past Luca. I mean,
he can.
But everybody else,
he was beat up at that point.
Yeah,
and
I'm going to challenge you on that one.
Well, I don't think anybody wins in the NBA with defense.
I think just like any other sport, defense has its place. And if you have a team that has that culture, that type of a defense, such as the Boston Celtics, that they were playing well last year, I would have to beg to differ with you on that one, Spags. You got to have some type of a team concept when it comes to defense overall.
No one's playing defense. Everybody's
They're playing
threes
defense.
and making
They're
them.
playing defense, and I know you probably sound like some old Bill Walton or something like that.
That's right.
I'm going to let you have it.
All right.
But I'll say this. You need at some point to have some type of a team difference, defensive prowess on your team. You have to have some type of a philosophy on your team in regards to each player having to play his role on team defense. Luka was never that guy, and it's not just the defense itself. We're talking about his physical ability. Mm-hmm. You could see every time that Luka played, it's a reason that he's got this look on his face. He looks like he's got high blood pressure out there on the court. You know, he looks like he's tired all the time, except for when he gets the ball in his hand. And that's just the way Luka has always played. You've had that go on in the NFL, NBA for quite some time, where you got guys that just don't play good defense. His was so out there. It was so easy to see, especially during those critical moments in the championship when they needed someone to play defense. He could not do that.
There's 4 other guys out there.
I know, but you still got to cover your area. You still got to cover.
Go look at the point totals Boston had.
What?
But when you look at the makeup of the Celtics team, and by the way, they have 2 players who are $300 million players in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
That's right.
And they were able to take advantage of Luka's deficiencies defensively.
And Kyrie Irving stunk the whole series.
No, he did not.
Yes,
not
he did.
Defensively, he did not.
And don't tell me Pete Maravich played
no,
defense.
He did not. What are you talking about, bro?
Pete Maravich
what are you talking
he was
about?
one of the greatest players in NBA history.
Are we going to go back over this whole thing about the black running back thing again? We got to go through all of this, bro. I don't know what you know.
He's only half black.
There you go. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Now he's there. He's with us.
I did my
He did his own. Go ahead, baby.
I did
there
my
you go,
homework.
man. We can talk all
That's
this
right.
later on.
So
man.
does defense win championships in the Super Bowl this week?
Better score points.
Yeah, you got to score points, but you also have to stop people from scoring points. So if we see that, which, you can see it during a game. You saw it during the championship game. There's a little bit of defense played, and it was played during crucial moments of the game. You don't have to play. You don't have to be shut down. 1985 Chicago Bears.
Kansas City Chiefs are a great example.
They are a good example. They win the moment. They win the critical moment.
Having said that, they're not going to trade Patrick Mahomes.
They're not. They are not. Patrick Mahomes is not going to go anywhere because he's doing his job all the way around.
For an injured 32-year-old.
Man. So, yeah.
By the way.
Who's an injured 32-year-old?
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
He's missed the last couple of games, and he's had injury history. Just like Luka
yeah,
has.
he's come off of that.
And this is for the future.
Last 2 years.
This is for the future. So when he said the future, it was money to be spent in the future.
Well, no,
not
but
2029
he specified.
first-round
No, but
pick.
he specified that the future for him is 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
All right. And
You better hope
Anthony
he's
Davis. Here's what I think.
Last 2 years, Anthony Davis has hardly missed any games because of injury. Now you talk about they call him what they call him street clothes because he was always dressed in street clothes. That was 3 years ago. 2 years ago, he stopped doing that. This year, he hadn't really been injured much at all, and he has carried the load for the Lakers. You're going to be impressed with this young man when he gets here.
25 points and 12 rebounds.
That's real stuff. He's playing his ass off.
He better be playing defense.
Well, I do think it's interesting from a general manager / ownership position with the Mavericks and the owners that own the Sands Hotel in Vegas. They are putting all their chips in on Anthony Davis and in the next few years because, to your point, what they are not getting back in this trade are the draft picks that you usually will get back in a trade for a generational player.
2029?
And that is not something that they even look at as a pick that they will use themselves. The value of those picks in the NBA are to use as trade commodities and to where you can make other moves. So basically they are putting all their chips in on now because what you would have if you sign Luka to the long-term Supermax deal, you would have him to be able to use eventually to restock your team once this window of opportunity might be up. And now the window of opportunity is as long as Anthony Davis' career is, basically right now, and he's going on 32 years old this month.
Can you imagine the size that they have right now?
Well, and that's the other thing that's happening in the NBA when you look at the team that they lost to yesterday, because they didn't play anybody yesterday. But
that was the G League team, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And who was Kelly?
He was signed last week, Kyler Kelly, and he started yesterday. But if you look at the makeup of the Cavaliers, who have the best record in the league right now, at 40-9, they got
big man.
Yep, and that's what
they got it going.
So they must be thinking that Kyrie Irving can handle.
But I'm thinking one of the keys too is making this move 3 or 4 days before the trade deadline, is because they're not, according to Nico Harrison and Jason Kidd, this is an enhancement to try to win it all this year and the next 3 to 4 years. They've got 3 days now. The trade deadline is Thursday afternoon, and they got to make a move to get another scoring threat.
You know when you're standing up there waiting on something, you got all kind of elbow room. Well, you got no more elbow room. Houston's over here. San Antonio.
By the way, they just acquired De'Aaron Fox last night.
They just come on. They're coming.
San Antonio.
The Spurs.
San Antonio did.
Yeah, the Spurs.
And you got the Thunder up the road that
they beat them. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. I hope that's the way it is.
Playoffs. What do they have? Like eight losses, and 3 of them are to the Mavericks.
Yeah, so far.
All right. Okay.
You want to get us back to the Cowboys?
Who cares?
Micah Parsons better be careful.
Who cares? This is serious
you catch
stuff.
that?
Yeah.
I said Micah Parsons better be careful.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get rid of him too, huh?
If you could trade Luca, better watch out.
So do you think the coffin was a little bit too much?
Yeah.
I mean, just a little bit too much.
You know what
how about the guys dressed?
They
up
know.
Paul Bearer?
They know the way. Yeah. They know the way. Whoever came up with that idea, they knew this is our 15 minutes of fame. Right
I'm not mad.
The TV stations would
they're going to
jump
be all
over this.
Yeah.
So now, so Luca's dad, look out for him.
Yeah.
He's pissed.
Yeah. I don't know why they are. I mean, this is probably the best thing that happened to Luca.
Well, if nothing else,
to L.A. and
there are moments when you say, you know what, no matter how good I am, I need to do better. And he's been knowing it for a while. Of course, it has something to do with his defense. But to me, his defense is the way it is because he's not in shape. I think his defense could easily improve just by coaching it. Otherwise, like you said, there are 4 other people out there. So that means that it minimizes just how much he has to take care of his 1/5 space. He can't do that. So that's the problem that you have with Luka. So he's going to have to improve that part of his game.
I'm a lifelong Dallasite, and I love Dallas. But for Luka to be able to go play for the Lakers and his brand, whatever, it just skyrocketed.
Yeah. He's going to be LeBron's replacement.
Lakers, Mavericks.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's going to be LeBron's replacement. Mm-hmm. That's what he's doing.
So instead of the Mavs,
that's the new Magic Johnson.
The Mavs trading for LeBron, they traded him to LeBron.
But when I don't think it equates for immediate results for the Lakers. I really don't. I think they have some decisions to make.
I don't know enough about their team to know, but I would.
They have to. First of all, you just lost a hell of a defensive player and a hell of an offensive player, and so how do you replace that? You can't. You really can't. So you got a 40-year-old sitting over there looking for his sidekick. Now your sidekick you're in better shape than your sidekick.
You sound like the commercial on TV with what's Hart's first name? The comedian
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. When he says he was making fun of 40, I forgot what was the line about? When something about 40. They're not talking about a 40-year-old,
right? Not being all spry.
Yeah.
No, they're talking about an old 40-year-old. That's what he is. And so he's, as much as he's been playing his butt off, the limitations are there, and that's what Luka's job is to go and replace him.
All right.
Now, is that going to be good for the immediate future for the Lakers? I don't think so.
Since last time we talked,
we had a press conference.
It was an hour before the press conference.
All right, let's take a break. All right, let's take a break and let's get Everson's first impressions of hearing Brian Schottenheimer talk and the news that has happened within the last week as far as additions to this coaching staff when Mick Schatz continues in a moment.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Next, waterproof bags. Bags are waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes and next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Schatz.
The biggest names in tennis head to the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco this February. Witness the top-ranked Casper Ruud and former Dallas Open champion, American Tommy Paul. They'll dazzle the court as the Dallas Open moves to a new home. Catch all the hard-hitting action and watch the top players on the tour compete live. Tickets are available now at SeatGeek.com.
So the producer Supreme put a picture of the center court. You missed it. It's gone.
Oh.
Look,
wow, there's Dallas
Open.
Open.
They built. Look what they built around the center court.
Nice.
They've got like 4 or 5 courts out there.
So are those like practice courts? Or
No,
no, I know that is the center court, but
there's other
the other courts are
go on both.
They're practice courts and match courts
And match
in
courts,
addition to that.
Yeah.
Not the center court.
Yeah.
And by the way, they must be staying here because when I went to lunch on Friday, all the tennis players were in the training table.
Oh, yeah.
And they were all still talking.
They were there this morning as well.
What a perfect place, really, for the tennis pros. I mean, we're talking 2 of the top 5 players in the world are playing here. And they upgraded it to an ATP 500 event now. But here at Ford Center and with the hotel here and everything, I mean, it's a perfect place.
They got all the training stuff.
They got restaurants around here and stuff. I mean, it's got to be great for them just traveling in here.
And if you need to know anything about tennis these days, all these guys were at least 6 foot, 6'3", arms forever, and big hands. It's amazing. And they were all sitting there eating lunch the other day.
I've got some breaking news to pass along here.
All right, go ahead.
Breaking news from about an hour ago, anyway.
Myles Garrett.
Yep. The reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year and Brown star Myles Garrett has requested a trade.
He said he wants to win a Super Bowl.
And, of course, he is from Dallas, Arlington Martin High School.
A&M.
Texas A&M as well.
He's only 29, by the way, and he's had 7 straight double-digit sack seasons, 4 straight of 14 or more. The GM, Andrew Berry, says no trade. We're not trading him, but we'll see.
Well, they have to do better by him.
Well, you know what? And his cap hit for the next 2 years, assuming somebody picks up the option bonus, is $19 million and $20 million, which is not like way out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be doable. Just saying.
Okay, he's under contract to the Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett requesting a trade. All right, so where would you like to go first? Let's get Everson's impressions of what he saw during the press conference a week ago at this time.
I stayed in there, bored as hell, but I stayed in there.
You made it through the entire 11-minute response on the first question?
No, I did not make that. Did not make that. I got Shotty's remarks when he was introduced. But then when
saw enough,
yeah, well, no, I heard enough. I was trying to listen to the response to that was who was that?
The first question,
Watson,
Calvin Watkins.
Watkins, yeah, that's Calvin. Because I texted him when I said, "Hey man, you got to do better." That's what I texted him when he asked the question.
Should have asked a yes or no question.
So, and then I. Was there for about 5 minutes, and then I got hungry, and Jerry was still talking when I was on the elevator going down to the car. Then I got in the car.
And this is still answering that question?
Still talking. Yeah, still talking, same answer. And I think I finally made 121, and then when I hit Highway 121, then I think Jerry wrapped it up. So I was like,
well, you had an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I had to eat, man. But no, I was really more concerned about what Shotty was talking about. You talked about what an impressive man he is, and how listening to him, I'd be very better off afterwards. And you're right. He did a good job in regards to how he carries himself as a coach, as a professional. Of course, he's got a great story. His dad was, if I'm not mistaken, was his dad considered one of those smartest guys? Didn't he have some type of academic accolades that everyone was so impressed with when he was alive? Was that?
I don't know about that, but he was pretty sharp.
Yeah, I heard he was a real sharp guy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about not just as a ball player, as a coach, but just the way he carried himself. And so he's bringing that kind of professionalism as his son to the Cowboys. Now, as far as I'm concerned, words are nice. And I always tell you, head coaches are nice. I need my assistant coaches to handle their business. I need them to be dogs. And I need them to be dogs that no one may not even know their names by the end of the first year. But they need to handle their business, and whoever we bring in, whether it's former favorites from years ago, they need to come in here and take care of business. We can't be that team because right now, because of Shotty's hiring, everyone's looking at this as just an easy, no nonsense, don't want to get don't really want to make any progress. That's the way they're looking at this. We don't really want to make any progress. We just want someone to just come in and do Jerry's bidding. Well, he needs to show us differently, especially by the way that his assistant coaches handle themselves, whoever they are coming up for this season.
The people that said what you just said, my question to them then, who do they want?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to hire? Just tell me. Because...
Well, answer your own question. Answer your own question.
All right.
If you were there, who would you say?
I told you Nick Saban, but that wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm,
that was pipe.
Well, give me some more.
I didn't have anybody.
The names.
You
no
have
other
nobody
head
else?
coaches.
No, but the names out there that people wanted to Ben Johnson was the hot name.
He left.
The Lions offensive coordinator.
Yep. And I'll guarantee
Pete
you,
Carroll is
Raiders.
He would have got murdered or criticized for going to be 74 years old.
But that's why I asked you. That's why I wanted you to.
I'm saying,
besides Nick Saban, you don't see anyone else out there?
I didn't see a head coach out there that you could bring in and hire a head coach.
A potential head coach.
A head coach.
Yeah.
not a coordinator.
Someone
and
who
I don't
has
know
head
anything
coaching
about.
experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
because both of the coordinators for Detroit did not have any head coaching experience. And I'll guarantee you both of those things were done already. They were just waiting for him to lose to get hired. Ben Johnson by the Bears.
If I'm Schottenheimer, I'm going to make sure that narrative that's out there does not come into fruition. That's what I'm going to make sure.
He'll work his ass off.
I'm going to make sure of that. I'm going to make everybody else going to work their asses off too. There won't be any type of, hey guys, I was doing my job, but then I got, no excuses. I want him to come through and change the culture of this team, because when people step into AT&T Stadium, they don't fear defense. They fear individuals, but they don't fear this team. I want to see if that can be changed.
You have to also remember, you weren't just hiring a head coach. You had to hire an offensive coordinator, play caller. So my question is, okay, who do you want to hire? And then who's the offensive play caller? So now you get a twofer, right? He's going to take care of the offense. He's going to be the play caller. You hired a defensive guy, a coordinator that had never been a head coach. As I told you last week, my first question to him, who's your offensive coordinator? Because that's where your money is spent on the salary cap. Well, you've got a transition now that's not very big, because when I talked to Dak after the press conference, he was all for it. It's like, why were you there? You didn't have to be there. And he said, to support Schotty, Schotty means a lot to me.
Oh, yeah.
He's been a consistent man. And he wasn't just talking about a coach.
I don't know who those guys were, but after we left here, you guys went on, and I went and got some hot chocolate, and everyone walked by. And it was a few of the players, and I recognized Dak, shook his hand, and we talked. But he said, yeah, I'm going to support.
He thought it was, he liked it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I saw, who were the other players there? I didn't recognize
I saw
those.
Tyler.
The guy on crutches. Tall, lean guy on crutches, dark-skinned brother. He was on crutches. Maybe he was
overshown on.
That was overshown.
Yeah, DeMarvin.
I don't recognize these guys out of uniform. I haven't seen them.
Sure.
Right.
And one of the wide receivers.
Yeah, it was about six guys.
Jalen Tolbert.
Six guys.
I think I saw Brock
Hoffman was there.
Yeah.
So he got support from about guys.
And there are not very many players hanging out here
course.
This time of the year.
But those that were here, they were there.
Right.
Guys probably doing their rehab.
They were, no doubt. And they said, let's head on up.
And he got support from his mother, too, by the way.
Who?
Schottenheimer.
From his own mother?
Oh, she was good.
She was.
You were over there, right?
I'm the one who got
Stopped her?
And the wife as well. So
she said, Mom said basically what you see is what you're going to get, and she's probably right about that. The way he would answer questions when he was in those media Monday sessions. So you took care of that. All right. Now they hired an offensive coordinator, but that coordinator is going to be like Schottenheimer was to McCarthy, right? It was McCarthy's offense. This will be Schottenheimer's offense.
Tell us about this offensive coordinator, Clayton Adams, who is with the Arizona Cardinals as their offensive line coach.
Offensive line coach.
Is that what we're talking about here?
Well, he's got to know what the guy. He's going to be like the assistant. He'll be.
And is he more of the run game coordinator,
right? And he's been pretty good.
And they talked about the Arizona run game last year. Now you do have a quarterback run game with that, and I did.
Yes, a little different, right?
Yeah, I crunched some numbers on that, and there wasn't a whole lot of difference between what the running backs in Arizona did compared to what Rico Dowdle in the running game here. But if you add in the quarterback run, then they were 7th in the league in rushing.
That's not fair. We can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I mean, that's like saying, the run game coordinator in Philadelphia is really good.
Right.
Well, yeah, if I got a running back and the quarterback that's going to run for 800 yards.
A very experienced offensive line.
But at least
although that run game coordinator in Philadelphia, Jeff Stoutland, should be getting a lot more of the credit for what's going on in Philadelphia. No offense to Kellen Moore, but he's the guy, and he's been there for years, and he's that offensive line. And so the big thing is, if Clayton Adams is the offense, if isn't the offensive line coach, at least he has worked in a system where he has been an offensive line coach and he respects the run game and has some schemes is respected as far as putting schemes together that get that run game going.
After a week of interviews at the Super Bowl, that guy will be the next hot candidate next year.
You think so?
The Philadelphia.
Jeff Stout.
Oh, yes. I thought you were talking
about
no. Okay.
No, I was saying.
And he may be a guy that he doesn't want to be a head coach or anything.
Maybe.
He knows where his place is.
So that's offense. Defense, we sort of knew where they were going with Matt Eberflus. Bringing Flus back, been here 2013 through 2017. 4 years, the defense coordinator of the Colts, and then the Bears head coach for 2 and 3/4 years, however long that last season lasted. So he was a good hand. You would have liked to kept him around, but the Colts offered him that defensive coordinator job. So I thought that was a move that was going to happen anyway. They retained the tight end coach, Lundell Wells.
Matt, what happened with Matt now?
Eberflus,
he's
defensive coordinator.
He's going to be here.
He's
okay.
Yes,
hired.
he's hired.
All right, go ahead.
And then they hired special teams, Nick Sorensen. He had been with Schottenheimer during his time with Seattle, so he knew him. And then 1 year in Jacksonville also. So he was familiar with him. He was a former special teams player, defensive backs coach, I think, Bill, if I remember correctly. So anyway, they got that taken care of. Saw Lundell Wells on Friday. They retained him as the tight ends coach. And I think he's the only one they've retained from the previous staff other than Schottenheimer. So far.
So far, yep. So you did mention Overstreet?
No, I haven't got to that yet. And it looks like they are hiring, Todd Harcher reported, they were hiring David Overstreet II as their DB coach. That was Eberflus' DB coach with the Bears.
And we love that, being Oklahoma Sooner fans growing up.
You understand who his dad was, right?
Yeah.
Big Sandy, OU, first-round pick of Miami. I was thinking when I was reading this, I'm going, why do I remember something happened to him?
It's tragic. Car
accident. It came back.
Just so
I knew
he was
something
just driving
happened.
home or something, wasn't he?
5 minutes
doing a
from
break
home.
or something, wasn't it? It was
gas station.
Yeah, but he was going. He was. It was on a break, wasn't he? They wanted
something like that.
Yeah, we're on a break, and he was driving home or somewhere, and that was it.
Yeah, awful. He's in the same backfield in 1978 with Billy Sims, the Heisman Trophy winner, and Kenny King was the fullback,
like passing the torch.
Thomas Lott at quarterback.
Come on, he was the youngster, right? He was a youngster.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
the
right.
speed guy, right?
Yeah,
yep.
They were just waiting on him to come.
So out of all that, they had 2 first-round picks in that triple option backfield.
Is that his? It's not his son, direct.
Yeah.
It is his son?
Yeah.
Wow.
David Overstreet II. And he's got some.
And see, I never knew David's first name. I always just called him Overstreet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. David. And David Overstreet, I'm looking up now. You know, he was the 13th pick of the draft in 1981. And Big Sandy, Texas, that's where Lovie Smith is from, too. And
my dad said the best, he called him the best football player he's ever seen.
Lovie?
Yeah. My dad said that about Lovie. My dad's from Marshall, and he loves all these Texas guys. Yeah.
Yep. And so Lovie would have been, he might have crossed paths as teammates with Overstreet in high school, but I want to say maybe a year or two older. Maybe.
I think they did, though.
Yeah.
I think I read something on that.
But David Overstreet died tragically in that car accident at age 25 in 1984.
So the other hires they made, linebacker coach Dave Borgonzi, he was here as in 2012 and 13 as like a defensive assistant and an offensive assistant, not a direct position coach. Defensive line, Aaron Whitecotton, last 4 years was a defensive line coach with the Jets, and he had been around Saleh in San Francisco before he brought him to the Jets. And then they hired a defensive pass game coordinator, Andre Curtis. Had been with Schottenheimer in Seattle. He was a pass game coordinator. And he also coached safeties with the Bears with Matt Eberflus for the past 3 years.
The Bears were known for having a stubborn defense.
They played well under defense wasn't their
And by the way, Andre Curtis
defense was never their problem.
And going back over a decade ago, he was with Spagnuolo with the Giants and the Rams. Andre Curtis.
He's been around. And then our buddy Nick Harris, who's now in Fort Worth, he said that they interviewed Tashard Choice and Rashad Samples as for the running backs coach position that hasn't been filled. And Samples is the son of Reginald Samples, Duncanville.
And there have been Tashard posted something over the weekend with a hook 'em horns.
Oh, did he?
And people are reading into that he's staying at Texas, but we'll see.
But he's done a good job developing running backs at Georgia Tech and Texas.
Oh, he's a running back whisperer.
I mean,
isn't that what he called
had
us?
Jameer Gibbs at Georgia Tech before Gibbs transferred to Alabama, and then to Texas. Every year they're producing first or second round running
Even when
backs,
they got guys
John
hurt,
Robinson, Jonathan Brooks was
I must admit he has been connected with some
even
really good
even going back
backs.
to North Texas. He said running backs that have Jeff Wilson has been in the league for several years, and Tashard coached him at North Texas.
He's doing something right.
And a lot of it has to do with recruiting too.
Yeah.
With Tashard, if you ever talk to Tashard,
trust me,
I mean, he can.
That guy there.
Yeah.
He's fun to talk to.
Lovable guy. He was one of the first guys in my big green notebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Going back and when in the draft.
Was he like that in college? Just as far as outgoing personality?
Yes, and in fact, that's what caught my eye on him because Tashard started his college career at OU, backing up Adrian Peterson.
Did he?
Yes, and then he transferred to Georgia Tech.
Okay.
And had a great career at Georgia Tech. But what caught my eye. There was a YouTube video of Tashard giving a pregame speech to the Georgia Tech team. I mean, he was so passionate. I said, man, you got to get this guy on your team. It was my everything or my nothing. I mean, you can find it on YouTube. It's great. And I was, man, the Cowboys got to get this. And sure enough, I was walking out of church that Sunday morning when they
he answered your prayer.
And so we became friends when he was here.
Yeah.
I told him that story, and so I would love to see him here, but I guess I'll secretly root for Texas.
He was here last year at this time for the East-West Shrine Bowl. The day before the game, they inducted guys into their Hall of Fame. Sarkisian was inducted into the East-West Shrine Bowl Hall of Fame, and he was here with Sarkisian. And he's on the phone the whole time. I know what he's doing. He's recruiting, right? And he saw me. He seeked me out to come and say hi, and we talked and talked and talked. He's great. He's absolutely. We talked running backs and talked about his running back and
we talked. He called me a couple times after he retired. He was thinking about getting into the media and doing something in the media, but he found his where he needs to be.
No, that's where he needs to be. Yeah, that's where he needs to be. He can help. He can help kids. He can help the kids.
Got anything else on your legal pad? You want to take a break and come back?
Yeah, I think we probably take a break.
All right.
I think we've covered where we're at with the coaching staff.
Much more still to come, and what a great moment at the Senior Bowl on Saturday, too. We'll talk about that and more when we come back here on Mick Shots.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Come on out to AT&T Stadium on February 22nd for the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship Series. Watch the world's best two-wheel racers converge for one night of nonstop action. Enjoy unprecedented access to the sport's biggest stars with an up-close look and close view of their race bikes and team rigs at FanFest Tickets. And they are on sale right now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
All right. I did not see it live, but I saw it after the fact, the game-winning touchdown in the Senior Bowl on Saturday. You were watching it as it happened. Jack Besh, the wide receiver out of TCU, started his career at LSU, and, of course, the tragic story a month or so ago when the terrorist attack in New Orleans, his brother Tiger was killed. And at the Senior Bowl, he was wearing his brother's number 7. His brother had played at Princeton.
I saw that. And I saw that. That was a post.
All the players were wearing number 7 decals on their helmets. And as it turns out, a Senior Bowl comes down to the last play of the game, and
the kid from
Denton Ryan, Hennigan throws the touchdown. A nice little pass there.
It was a nice pass and a nice little route that he ran. It was fourth down. They went for because they could have kicked a field goal to tie it, and they went for the.
It's wearing the number 7. That play started with 7 seconds left in the game.
It was unbelievable.
And he catches the game-winning touchdown pass.
Offensive MVP. They interviewed him. He got through the interview. And then his mom and dad came, and it was the longest hug and crying you ever seen. Daddy was kissing him on the neck, Mama was holding him, and they, for production or whatever, who was ever producing the show, kept it there, and they didn't have to say anything. It felt like for 5 minutes. It wasn't, but
well, and even right after he caught the touchdown pass, he was swarmed in the end zone, of course, and I believe it was Brett Besh, his uncle, who was the assistant strength coach here,
right,
who was in the midst of that.
And I want to give Chris more work, but does he have that? Does Chris have that? No. Okay, good.
It was really emotional, but it was a neat deal to end the Senior Bowl.
And by the way, he kicked butt all week. I mean, he's a guy to keep an eye on in the draft.
Wide receiver,
bigger.
Tight end, wide receiver. He's kind of a little bit of both, I think.
Where does he play?
Where
did he play?
TCU.
Oh, TCU.
Yep. And he started his career at LSU and transferred to TCU. I'm getting his measurements right now. Of course, he I didn't get this. I don't have the Senior Bowl measurements here in front of me, but 6'2", 215 pounds. So he's bigger wide receiver.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what he runs. But, at the Senior Bowl, they do a survey of players in the game. Like, they'll survey defensive backs on who's the best wide receiver that you went up against, or who offensive lineman, who's the best defensive lineman. And Jack Besh won that wide receiver award.
Okay.
So,
what happens in those games, and it happened in the for the majority in the East-West Shrine game I went to. There's not enough offensive linemen to go around.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what happens with the alternative leagues. If you can't block up front, you never know how good the running back is or how good the quarterback is because they don't get any protection.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the one side, I forgot which one it was. The east side.
But you're talking about the Senior Bowl,
the Shrine game.
Oh, yeah.
They one side, the offensive line was just terrible, so the quarterbacks didn't have a chance. But there was a running back, Crosby Merritt. He had a little bit of scoot to him. He was from. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I don't know. He just
Did
just
you go to the game or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. I sat in the press box and watched for 3 quarters, right? And he caught my eye. And then the quarterback, his name was.
This is good.
Sorry.
This is good information.
Sorry.
This is good.
Cam Miller. He had some scoot to him.
Can he throw?
And he threw a nice pass. Yeah. Shedeur Sanders didn't
What school
play,
was Miller from?
obviously.
Can you imagine if Mickey was in the scouting room and
He's
giving
North Dakota State.
Okay.
Stop.
We've got our
North Dakota State.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got our Southeast College scout over here. He's going to give us a report on the game that he
This is impromptu
Right.
information.
Yeah. I didn't have to write stuff down, right? He was.
Will McClay calls on. Okay, Scout Mickey, give us a report on this guy.
He was pretty good.
Now, Cam Miller, he was balling out in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, he had some protection. The other side didn't have much protection.
What was that running back's name?
Yeah, what was the running back's name? I'm looking it up.
Crosby Merritt.
No, it's Ja'Cory Crosky Merritt.
Crosky, yeah.
From
Yeah, I
Arizona.
didn't write it down well. Crosky Merritt, Arizona, number 31. He was pretty good.
Well, you know how many yards he ran for this past season?
How many?
106.
Dang.
Well, he about ran for 106 in the Shrine Bowl.
Mickey, you can spot him.
That's right. You watch.
Apparently he was hurt. He had 13 carries for 106 yards.
Oh, okay.
So that was 8 yards a carry. So small sample size, and you were able to.
That's right. I can tell when I see it. And maybe the best part was when they interviewed Shedeur Sanders afterwards, and they were saying, what was it like? And he said, he goes, my dad kept calling me. He said he kept calling me and calling me and calling me. And he said, I finally said, hey, look, I got to do this on my own. He goes, my dad's got separation anxiety.
That was a good one. That was the best line of the weekend to me.
One of the things that I look at when especially like a quarterback, but every position, is how they handle interviews and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Shedeur's you can tell how bright they are by the way they handle interviews a lot of times.
Well, they had to handle themselves in their own home.
That's right.
They're dealing with their dad.
That's right.
You got to go tit for tat with Pops.
Shedeur checks that box.
Yeah,
he does. And as far as you can tell, the kind of the poise that they have and everything. And so I've already, in my big green notebook, I've already checked. Okay, he's fine as far as
I don't think he's got the tools ready-made. Mm-hmm. But I think his stick-to-itiveness allows him to be as good as he is.
I saw
his mentality in regards to finishing a play, making a play. It may not come from him having so many physical tools, but up here and right here, he's got it.
That's right.
He's got it.
Yep.
I saw a draft, somebody's mock draft. They had him going first.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Who's got the Jet?
Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward, the quarterback from Miami, is also talking.
And they had him going second. I would. Now
he's the one that's got the traditional.
Yes.
Well, but there are so many teams in the top, even before the Cowboys pick at number 12, that need quarterbacks. That
it's going to help the Cowboys.
Quarterbacks go earlier than they should go. Now, as it turns out this year, the quarterbacks that went, and there were 5 of them that went in the top 12 picks or whatever it was, they deserved to go up there. And it's evidenced by Bo Nix and how he did with Denver. He was the last of that bunch. Now, this year, they're going to be overdrafted.
Because of need.
Yeah. And so now you got what happens when you draft a quarterback in the top 10, now they get thrown in sooner than they should be. Usually. And now in the case of Patrick Mahomes, he went 10th overall and he got to sit a year. And that, I think, probably helped him immensely. Who knows? Maybe they would have won the Super Bowl that year if they would have played him instead of Alex Smith.
Or you could have broken him.
That's right. Yeah.
He could be either one.
Yeah.
I see Shedeur. To me, he reminds me of he's got the ad-libbing ability of Brett Favre. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing. I don't mean Brett Favre reckless. I mean his ability to stick with the play. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to give up on the play.
And he's had to deal with some bad offensive line.
Yes, he had to.
Colorado.
Good arm.
Oh, he's got a good arm, no doubt about it.
And he's taken a beating.
Yes, he has. And that I don't want to see. Yeah. I don't want to see.
The other quarterback that stood out on the west side, it was some guy named Brady Cook.
From Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Just throw that out.
He's good?
He's got a nice arm. He's not going to be big enough. Or I don't know how much they value his arm, but he was.
Say, when you came in here throughout the season, I thought you were down on Brady.
No, I was not. He got hurt.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
They had to play the backup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was the only reason they lost a game or two, because they had to play the backup. He's the one that came back got hurt against Auburn and came back valiantly in the fourth quarter to lead them to victory.
I know you won a game that you shouldn't have won.
No, you win every game you're supposed to win.
Inexplicably fumbled the football away with less than 2 minutes to go.
So you got to have good defense.
No, it had nothing to do with the defense. He just fumbled the football away.
He was getting chased.
What you got, Chris?
By the way, the reason why that some mock drafts had Shedeur going number 1 is because the new general manager, Mike Bergonzi,
which is
Dave Bergonzi's
brother, yes,
made comments this weekend about Shedeur, saying that he is the right guy and smart, engaging, and is the right guy to lead this football team.
And Tennessee was there in Denton interviewing Shedeur.
So that's why people start getting quotes and he's going to go that, just because he just talked to him.
Yeah,
so
that's a good one.
They move him around as they go when they start asking about players, and they just try to tea leaves, So
that's a media for you.
And by the way, you threw this out, I want to say last week. We were talking about
me predicting that Luca was going to be traded?
No.
Yeah, I got that one.
We're going back to football. About looking for an offensive coordinator. Looking for an offensive coordinator, and you said, well, what about hiring Chip Kelly, Ohio State? Got hired today by the Raiders.
The Raiders. Tom Brady hired Chip Kelly to be his offensive coordinator.
There you go. Brady's doing all the hiring. There's something wrong there, right? Doing TV and also.
So is Brady going to draft the Ohio State quarterback to play for Chip Kelly?
That's the first thing I thought.
Well, they got like the 6th pick in the draft, something like that.
And he's up, right? That guy's played 8 years in college or whatever.
Yeah, I think he's played.
What's his name? Will Howard? Is that it? Will?
That sounds great.
Yeah. He used to be at
Kansas State, right?
Kansas State.
You didn't know his name?
Yep.
You didn't know his name?
No, I know it.
He knew.
I just like to.
He was playing with.
I want to see if
he probably knows where he went to high school and what their mascot was too.
Gil Brandt, huh?
All right, we got 1 minute. Your 1 minute warning goes to both benches.
That was it.
That was my
Spags was stretched that out to 5.
Mickey was on Sunday.
Is there a Super Bowl?
No, on Sunday who's going to win the Dallas Open.
That's what I was going to ask. Who's going to win the Dallas Open, Nick? You going to go?
Tiafoe.
Francis Tiafoe.
That's the man. That boy can
Will
play.
Jerry be
Plays
there?
tonight at 7 o'clock.
He does tonight.
Tonight. Yep.
Will Jerry be there to present the trophy, or will he be in the Super Bowl city of New Orleans?
They've already started this afternoon, right? Or right?
Yeah, they start actually right now. At
12 now, 12?
Yeah,
When's your match?
Yeah, right.
You're a big tennis
player.
player.
They have doubles, Mick.
I know they do.
So, did you make the celebrity doubles cut?
Yeah, they didn't ask. I don't know.
They didn't ask me either, man.
Yeah.
I play tennis.
Everson and I could have gone out there. Celebrity tennis.
We'll
look
like a pro-am.
We'll look like pickleball players out
Maybe
there.
next Monday morning the courts will still be up there, and you can go out there.
I got my.
Y'all report early
got my
next
racket.
Monday morning, and we'll get some video of y'all playing each other in the real championship.
I'll crowd the
match at
net on
Dallas
Spags.
Open.
He won't be able to get one by me.
All right, I think that does it. You got a winner this Sunday, the real game?
Chiefs.
I'm going Texans also.
Me too. Something about
That's it.
Mahomes,
That's
right?
it. And Reed. And Spag.
And Spags. Because defense wins.
Yep, that's right. And we made it through that without mentioning the team that they're playing against here on DallasCowboys.com.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
So we'll be here to wrap it all up next Monday morning at 11 on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!